Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. X and O's and Joes. I'm Coach Gene Clemens, and what you're looking at right now is me working on a document cam. I thought it might be interesting to try this out as opposed to just getting up on the whiteboard, since I don't really have access to a classroom right now where I could really get on the whiteboard like I would like to. But I I sent out a poll on Facebook a couple days ago asking for suggestions, and one of them was to do a more deeper dive into the diamond formation versus 53 and 44 defenses. What you see a lot of times whenever you end up giving people a look that is more of a run emphasis look, they tend to respond with heavier defenses, i.e. the i.e. the 53 or the 44. But in reality, what you do is all based off of how you can scheme someone up. So what I wanted to do is to show that by going with the diamond formation against these heavier defenses, you should not be afraid to go against the defenses because you think that they may have you out leveraged. In reality, you are still in a great place in order to be able to work. So what I first want to show you is the dynamics of numbers. For years, football has been essentially an 11 on 10 endeavor, meaning that the quarterback has most of the times been a non-factor in the game as a runner, outside of the triple option or the wing T, where you might see the quarterback get more action. Any type of three phases. What we've seen now in today's football is that many teams have tried to bring all three phases back and incorporate them into the modern game, i.e., what Baltimore is doing. What Baltimore is doing with Lamar Jackson, especially in this formation. Now, while this was not a mainstay formation for them, they definitely used it. We also saw Oklahoma use this in times with Jalen Hurts. We've seen other teams with athletic quarterbacks use that diamond formation to really take advantage of the athleticism of their quarterback and also make the game more of an 11 on 11 game. So while some people might look at this and go, oh, well, this is 8 on 8, I actually look at this and go, this is 9 on 8. I don't count the free safety because essentially, as an offense, all we're trying to do is get 3+ yards. And if you keep your life simple, as in I'm just trying to get 3+ yards, you really make it easier for you to operate. So these 8 that's in the box versus these 9 that are in the box. Now, we actually are going to make the game even easier because there's going to be one of these 8 that we don't bother to block every time. And that's because we're reading it. So I'm going to get started with a couple plays that I think are really, really good out of the diamond formation. You've probably heard some of this stuff from me before if you follow my videos. But the first thing I'm gonna get into is midline. And again, the reason I love midline is because it's a downhill running play, but it makes you stress a guy that's not used to being stressed. Now, the beauty of it in the diamond formation is that your blockers get an opportunity to really go inside out on these linebackers, and we're able to stay hard on these defensive ends, even though we know those defensive ends are probably not going to make the play. So first off is the nose. Anytime you get a 0, you have to account for the 0. And the way that we account for the 0 is with the double team. So this is an even front for us. If we're looking at it offensively, There's no strength one way or another, so we'll probably go to the field side. So let's say that the field side is to the screen's left. This is actually my right, I'm writing backwards, but let's say it's to the screen's left. So we're going to draw it up to the screen's left, which means that we want to stress this guy. He's the guy we're going to read. Now, we know that this guy's the guy we're going to read, so we're not blocking him. Now, because we have a nose, we want this back to be smart. Running a 0 might not be the smartest thing, but we don't want him getting so wide that he messes up the mesh. So instead of aiming right down the butt crack of the center, we're going to have him aim at the left butt cheek of the center. So he's going to come slightly off center line. The quarterback is still going to step off the midline in order to create the mesh, but the back is going to step slightly off center line in order to run this play. Now, blocking up front, the center is going to look, he's not going to look to scoop this guy. He's going to look to double team him with the down block from this front side guard. Now, really what we want the guard doing is to give a hand to push this guy off of the line so that he can take over. He's not going to scoop, because a scoop would mean that he's just trying to get his butt. And again, we don't want to widen out the hole. So we want this block down from the guard to use his inside hand to punch down on this nose to jar him off so that the center can take over and go from there. From there, we're going to have the guard work up to the Mike backer, who has to come A-gap. This Mike backer has no other choice but to come A-gap. So he's going to work up to the Mike backer. So that's the first block we're getting right there. Now, both of our backs that are on the side, remember these can be backs, these could be tight ends. If you notice in the Baltimore scheme, these are tight ends. But they're going to, on the front side, he's coming through for the front side backer. Now, normally we would have this guy rip through for the backer, but because we have everything in there already, he can stay hard on this end. Backside guard is going to get and base block on this backside tackle. Backside tackle is going to base block on the end, and this back or tight end in the backfield is going to work up and inside out on the stud linebacker. Now that leaves this guy and this guy. He is what we're reading. If he comes up the field, it's a handoff. If he comes and squeezes down on the guard, turns his shoulder, that's a pull. The back is going to come right off the butt cheek. Quarterback is going to follow out the back door. And that is how we set up our midline in the diamond. Now, if you're looking out here, what do we want to do here? Well, depending on how these cornerbacks are playing, we might have a gift. If we get a gift where we see this guy is way off, if let's say he's 7 to 10 yards off, we're just going to come up and throw the ball right now. So these wide receivers are going to step back and check first, and then they're going to go and block the corners. So step back and block the corners from our receivers on the outside, our midline on the inside. This is where we're going to run the ball downhill versus an 8-man box. And we don't even care that it's an 8-man box. That is how we have to feel. Now, if this nose is a world beater, there's an easy thing you can do. which is to just have the guard and the the guard and the center double team the nose, send this back for the Mike linebacker, send this tackle through the end up to the backer, like he normally does anyway. So with that, you would be able to keep the continuity and make sure that you take care of a nose guard that might be a really good football player. So that's what we're doing in the midline out of the diamond. Now, another run play that I really love versus out of the diamond. I'm sorry, not out of the diamond. I'm going to show you, I apologize. I'm going to show you midline. I'm going to show you midline versus a 4-4 defense. So you can see how it looks versus the 44. Just pretend as if that's not there. I know it's difficult because I keep looking at it, but I am writing on paper, so I apologize. So again, we're giving it an even front. They're going to probably put that strength to the field. Let's say the field is to the papers right this time. So that's where we're going to find our 3 technique. So there's your 3, there's your nose, end, here's your corner, there's your Mike backer, buck, and if we're going there, it's your stud and your will with your free safety. So now we've got our 44, all gaps are accounted for, outsides accounted for. We know that in a 4-4 defense, they're probably going to bring somebody because they want to make sure that they keep us, honest. But at the same time, we know that they're going to probably blitz gap sound. So there's no reason for us to do anything crazy. We just have to play our roles. Now, once again, easier block for the center to down block on the nose. We know that we're sending this backside guard up for this linebacker. He's going to be on the end. The backside back or tight end is going to come for the will. Front side, this guard is going to come up for the Mike right now. This tackle on that end, this back coming through for the stud, and we are reading that in. Now this time, we are directly on the midline. We're directly on the midline. Obviously, he can break once he's to the second level if he wants. But we're directly on the midline. Quarterback steps off. He's reading. Again, if that guy comes up the field, that's a read. If he comes down, that's a pull. And this guy is right out the back door that way. So we have a look at, that way you can see it here. I keep forgetting that I'm upside down. There, we're reading that in. We're reading that in. If he gets up the field, that's a read. If he comes down, that's a pull. Quarterback gets to see that. We've got blocking everywhere. Again, these receivers are going to step back and then go and block just in case they're getting a gift. They can come up immediately and get a ball thrown to them by the quarterback. But that is midline versus a 4-4 or versus a 53 defense. Now, another running play that I really love versus a 4-4 or a 53 is your simple zone read. Your simple zone read is one I think that most people don't take advantage enough of when you have a big defense or a defense that's trying to stop the run because they're like, oh, well, all of the gaps are covered. There's nowhere for us to run. But if you think about how your zone read works, you're looking for a defender to not play the position the way it's supposed to be played. So if you can get one guy to play it the wrong way and your back is smart enough to actually read and not be somebody that's anxious and just goes without looking, if he's a slow to speed through kind of back, he can have a lot of success running zone read out of this formation, especially versus a heavier defense. There's your free. So here we go here. We're going to run a zone. We're going to run the zone to the right. So everybody is taking their zone step. And this is inside zone, obviously. Everybody's taking their zone steps. And I like to liking everybody's zone within there. So right now, if you're looking at what's going on, these two guys should be working for these two guys. If this nose tries to go back door, he steps flat, he takes that guy over and he works up to the mic. But if he goes this way, the mic's going that way, which means that this guy has to come and take this tackle. Now what happens is we don't block this in. This is the read guy. We're sending this back front side through as a lead blocker. These two are going to ace to the Mike backer. He's going to probably take over this tackle, and this guy is going to arc release for the wheel. Now, why is he arc releasing? Well, you'll see. The quarterback is going to step opposite the hole. The quarterback is going to open up with his butt to the hole. The back is going to step opposite the hole and come down. Quarterback is looking backside at the end. If the end crashes, he's got to pull with a blocker in front of him. If the end comes up the field because he sees his back and he's got to be concerned with any type of option or toss or anything this way, we're going to hand it off. So if that guy comes up the field and that guy's there, now the running back has an opportunity to hit it true. He has an opportunity to bounce it. He has an opportunity to cut back. So he has a three-way go. He has a three-way go when he comes downhill and he attacks. Now his aiming point is probably a little too tight here because I drew it, but his aiming point should be the inside leg of the guard. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow him to see the hole. But I don't mind him being tight because he can always make that adjustment while running a little further out. Now he gets an opportunity to read these defensive linemen's movement. If this end stays in the 3 and he's responsible for the B gap, and this nose decides to go forward to the front side A gap, we know the Mike's coming backside. We got a guy to block him and pick him up. That's where the cutback happens. And now because we got a guy picking up the Mike and a guy picking up the tackle, the cutback may actually be there. If that nose goes backdoor, we know the Mike's coming. Someone's going to pick him up. We stay true to the hole. We're good to go. If the end slants and if this tackle slants and this end stays out, we know that this guy is supposed to take B gap, but he's going to get blocked. And so now the hole's going to be there. We leave it to the back to be able to decide where the hole is. That's the entire point of zone. So we give them an opportunity to punch, an opportunity to bounce, an opportunity to cut back. And we have a built-in play for the quarterback that if this guy comes hard, he reads that and pulls, and now he's got a lead blocker out here for him running. If he pulls it, it should be a really big gain for the offense. If he decides that it's time to pull this ball, it should be a really, really good game for the offense. That's versus a 53. Now let me show you versus the 40, how that works. So again, we've got our diamond. We're going to put the 3 technique to that side. Here's my Mike, Buck, Will, Stud. Again, same thought process here. Step back, or whatever play they have called. If these guys are deep off of the wide receivers, they can run whatever they want to run in order to take advantage of that. Probably a hitch, but I like to step back because you just get the ball to them right now and let them do what they do best, which is make plays. So that's how we would roll with that. Now, when we're talking about the zone again, now we're dealing with the bubble. We want to run zone to the bubble. So if we want to run zone to the bubble, that's how we're going to roll it. Our blocking, he's up on this nose. That's into his zone. He's on this end. This guy is working up to this backer. He's coming through, probably going to take the will. These two for these two, because we're not going to block him. This guy works outside, arc release to this guy. He's stepping flat down to take over. He's chipping and working up to the Mike. He's opening away from the hole. Quarterback steps opposite. He comes down, aiming point. He can punch. He can bounce. He can cut back. He can even get out the back door. Quarterback is going to read this end. If this end comes down, doesn't keep any gap integrity, he doesn't have to worry about this guy because we've got a guy blocking him. So he's going to pull it, and it should be a big gain for him that way. So again, first play versus 4-4 and a 53. I like his midline. The second one is your basic zone, which I don't think people are willing to really invest in enough, because it can be a really big play for you, especially when you have so many blockers. I mean, this is essentially 9 on 7. There's no way you shouldn't have success when you're 9 on 7. I'm going to show you one more run play that I like, and that is jet power out of this formation. Now, or I shouldn't say jet power, I should say out of this would be like a sweep power. So we've got our offensive line here. Okay, so I'm here. Quarterback, have our backs. Here's your receivers. We'll go back to the 50 look. Okay, so we have this set up. The receiver's out of the picture, but it's okay. So we've got our box set up here, and we're looking to take advantage front side this time. So we've read on the back side, we read inside, now we're going to read front side. So when we come, we're not blocking this guy. This is the guy we're not going to block. Right? So we're not going to block that guy. We're sending everything down on the front side. So we're coming down here on this tackle. We're going to come down and double team that nose. We're going to come down on this tackle, block back on this end. Now, if you've seen me draw up a jet power read, you know that this guy normally pulls, but that guy doesn't have to pull now. We've got other guys who can do the job. So now what we're doing is, on a snap, he's coming through for this backer. He's coming outside to lead block for this guy who is coming across. Quarterback is going to ride. If this guy widens out, he's going to pull it and get north and south. If that guy stays, if he tries to squeeze down, he's going to hand it off. Either way, they're messed up because nobody can get to this except for these guys. And I say this double team, you know we're going to double team up to this Mike. We're not blocking this guy backside because this guy's never going to make that play before we get significant yards. Now, if you want, which I think I don't care either way, but if you want, you can rip this guy up through for that backer. I always have to rip him up through though, because these ends are super athletic these days. And if you got something going all front side, he could literally ride, pull it, and by that time this end is flat down the line of scrimmage waiting to hit him. So I would rip through to this linebacker because in my world, he's a bigger threat than he is in this play. So block back, we got an ace to the Mike backer, down block on this tackle, read the end, front side back up on the strong side linebacker. This deep back is out, lead blocking for the first person to show. So if this guy flows hard, guess what? Boom, he's going to get him. He's going to pick up the Mike. Because if the stud flows hard outside, guess what the Mike's doing? Scrape stack spot. So he'll pick up the Mike. if that's what happens. Everything continues to flow like it's supposed to. This is a beautiful play versus a team that wants to put 5 men on the line of scrimmage, because once you get past 5, there's only 6 to make a tackle, and 3 of them are playing deep or they're lined up on wide receivers out here. As you can see, boom, boom. Now, show you this play versus a 44 defense. And I know in my edited X and O's and Joes, you don't have to wait for me to draw. And I mean, that's why a lot of them are edited, because it takes out a lot of the timing. But, you know, I wanted to show this in what I consider a clinic form, because I want you to be able to see how we're thinking about this as it pertains to running versus the defense. So now we have our 44 defense. Here's our tackle in, our nose, end, Mike, buck, stud, whip. So here's our box on box. Again, right now, we want to run to the 3 technique side. Normally we want to run to the 3 technique side because this guy would be pulling. But because we're not pulling anybody, it doesn't even matter which way we run it. So let's say we want it to tendency break. So now we're going to run that away from the 3 technique. It actually works out better because now this guy gets an opportunity to go down immediately for this backside. So here's how we would run it if we were trying to break tendency and go away from the 3 technique. You're going to get a down block from the front side guard. So say we're going to run this to the right. Down block from the front side guard on this nose. Always you want to give help with that nose. That nose is normally a bit deal. Either he's athletic and fast, quick, or he's big and strong and tries to just bull rush people. So there, you want to get block on here. You can go through the end up to this backer. This guy does not have to block this guy because that's what he's going to do. Remember, we're reading here. So he's actually going to come back this way. He's coming down here. He's coming around to lead block outside. He's going to come through, running that way, quarterback, ride. He steps up the field, pulls it, it's out the gate. Now, if you just wanted to keep it consistent with both sides, you would have these guys ace to the mic, and then you would have this guy come here. He would come through to block this wheel inside. He would be there to block the wheel outside. And depending upon what happened, you would have that. But again, in the 44, that gives you an opportunity to break tendencies because you're not pulling the guard. Now, obviously, this becomes a situation where you have to teach the guard when he's pulling and when he's not pulling. In this offense, in this formation, he does not have to pull because you have those blockers there. If you were in a regular offense, say if you were in empty, you really need to make sure that that guard is pulling because you don't want to leave your quarterback high and dry. So again, shuffle, that guy gets up the field, pull it. If the guy squeezes down, hand it off. Defense can't be right, and you get an opportunity to take advantage of a defense that's built to try to stop the run, but they don't know where the run's coming, and you've got 9 men to block 7 men, or 9 men versus 7 men. And if it's 9 versus 7, you're going to win. Again, those are some run plays that are really good versus a 53 or a 44 defense. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you a couple pass plays that will work for you versus those stat boxes that make people think you're running it, which you want them to do, when in reality you're passing. All right, I'm back. We are looking at running this diamond formation, a couple passing plays out of the diamond where that you can really take advantage of defenses that don't realize you're about to pass it, or that may realize that you're about to pass it, but they don't have good eye manipulation. And so because they don't, you're able to find the advantages on them. And again, you gotta love pass plays when you're going against 44 and 53 defenses, because if you get past that first level, there's nothing else out there to stop you. And that's the beauty of running pass plays versus these types of defenses. Excuse me, what am I doing? Corner, free. Is that if you catch them not paying attention, you can strike them for a touchdown. So out of here, we look at this diamond offense, and we've run plays already to get them off track. So let's go back and think about one play that we've run, and that's our zone. So in our zone, we were running everyone there. We were bringing a guy through the lead, right? Had our back coming opposite, then attacking. We had him releasing this way to go and block. So we're still going to have all of that. The difference is when he comes through, he's working into the cross. He's coming through, obviously blocked. This guy is going to come down. He's going to come down, chip this in so he doesn't get upfield, and then work to the flat. He's gone. If that guy tries to bail, He's going to break it 12 to 15 and come back. If that guy gets beat, he's going to just keep going vertical. So if you see down there, 12 to 15, he comes back. If he's got him beat, he's going to go vertical. And then the quarterback is going to give his fake and then get depth as he comes about. And now he's looking, I always say touchdown to check down. You can call it whatever you want. I mean, you can go with the 4 R's, you know, rhythm, read, rush and run, or release. Like whichever works for you is good. But we're going to take a look here first, unless there's pressure. If there's pressure, you drop it immediately. But we're going to read here. So we're going to go here to the crosser, or sorry, here to the flat to the crosser. Because, and the reason we're going to look at the crosser third, is because if we go here, that guy's gone. If we throw it to this guy right now, he's got nothing but room to run. Now, if that guy's covered by this guy, who's guarding this dude? The Mike linebacker? Stop it. Let's get this money. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. There. On the backside, he's going to run what I call a push post, which is just to push inside, get inside, and maybe, if this cornerback is sleeping and this free safety has sold out to get over the top, you may be able to set your feet and throw that backside post. But that is a huge maybe. And you better complete it if you're my quarterback, or else we're going to have issues. So that's a zone, our zone boot versus a 53. Very simple stuff. Nothing world breaking. I mean, nothing world beating, but I think a lot of times coaches forget about it, especially coaches on the youth level will forget to use that play action as a valuable tool. We'll just draw it up quickly on the other side versus a 44 defense. And you see here, we've got our defensive line. Flip it this way so that we have offensive emphasis right here. So that we have the offensive emphasis on here. Did I put that too wide? I did. There he goes. There we go. All right. Mike. All right, so once again, we're looking at what we're doing here. We're going to zone to the bubble. They should know that we're zoning to the bubble, right? So everything we do works into that premise. Zone to the bubble. Quarterback's going to open. He's going to come down and hit a cross. He's coming through. You see what blocking we're getting from the line. He's arcing to get on the end. Now, the reason he wants to get on the end is so that he can give this quarterback an opportunity to get depth and away from that chasing defensive end. Also, if he touches the defensive end, it's going to make the defensive end think run. And if we get that defensive end to click his eyes in here while he's running out there, well, guess what? Now we're definitely in the advantage. We got the release outside. And again, we're going to have him break back off 12 to 15. If he's over the top, if he's in trail mode, he's going to keep taking that thing vertical. Over here, into the flat. That's the number 1 read. deep. Number 2 read, flat. Number 3 read, cross. Push post on the back side to try to get into the play. And that's your basic boot. Your basic boot and or naked out of the diamond formation. Gives you an opportunity to take advantage of a play. If you're running zone well enough, this is going to be a huge play. And if you're not running zone well enough, run this play to make these guys think of something different than you running zone, then come back and hit them with zone after you run the pass play. So that's one play I like versus. Now, I want to take the next play. I want you to think about us running that power read, so that sweep power read. And this one's a little bit more, I won't say exotic, but it's definitely not just as ham and eggs basic as your zone boot. Okay. So, all right, so versus that 50 look. So here, the magic's in here. So we want to make sure that we're paying attention here. The magic's in here in the backfield because it all looks very similar. So we come out and we're running that jet power read. If you remember, or not the jet, but the sweep power read. Now, if you remember, he's coming through, he's going to lead block. He's coming across. So same things are going to happen. Same things are going to happen. Except this guy is now, he's running deep. No comeback on this. He's running deep. This back is going to run out and run a follow route. And he's going to sit down. He's going to sit down at about 10. So he's running out. He's going deep on a fade. He's running a follow. So it looks like he's going out to block this guy, but he's really running out, running that follow. He's going to come through. And at 5, he's going to work and settle. So either he's going to see this guy gone and he works out, or he's going to see that guy, he's going to see that guy gone and he can work here, or he's going to see this guy settle and he can work out. This guy's coming through as your dump off. So he's going to work through as your dump off. Quarterback's going to ride, pull and step back. Either he caught the corner slipping, looking to read and try to help in this. So he either caught the corner slipping, right? Or he's held the safety. He's held the strong side linebacker who's trying to come up, and he's got to follow. And if the strong side linebacker is on the follow, then he should have this back wide open on this 5-yard settle route or out route, depending upon how this guy plays. All else fails, you can dump it off to your back that's came across. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, or read, rhythm, read, rush, release. or rhythm, read, rush, release, run. So however you want to call it within this dynamic, depending upon how you take advantage of it, that's what you do. This guy, you can run him on a backside shallow. If everything, like if they blitz or if everything is down, you may can catch him over the middle. Again, the quarterback's going to read, step back. So read, take your three read steps, 1, 2, 3, step back, 3 read steps, 1, 2, 3, step back, boom, 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 boom. Maybe see him coming. That's an opportunity to take advantage of a defense that's not prepared for you to have 4 receivers in a route. Show it to you versus the 44. So there we go. 3 technique, end, Mike, buck, stud, wheel, corner, 3. All right, so once again, you can see the first thought process. Let's say if we go to the 3 technique side with it this time. Your receiver running their deep route. That's your first read. That's your first read. He's coming through. Here. Running backs on the follow. Settling at 10. That's read number 2. If you can hit this running back in stride, that's even better if you can hit him in stride. But the one thing the running back can't do is he can't bring his line here. He really needs to get out wide so he can release from and draw this strong side linebacker out with him again. The linebacker goes here. Now you've got this guy underneath. Boom. He's coming across as your release. Quarterback. 1, 2, 3. Step back. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, or rhythm, read, rush, release. So you have those guys. Here's your number 5 guy. Boom. Coming across on the shallow. Just another way that you can use a diamond formation to take advantage of a defense that's not ready for 4 receivers to be out in the offense. So definitely ways that you can be able to stress what's going on. You're able to stress a 4-4 or a 5-2 defense. Obviously, there's more ways of showing you 3 running plays. If you can remember, I showed you the midline, showed you the jet. I'm sorry, not the jet, but the sweep power read. I showed you zone versus it. You can run everything out of this diamond formation. You can run lead. You can run ISOs. Really, it all depends on what you want to do and how you want to make things happen. You can run a buck sweep. Everything is in place. As a matter of fact, before we get out of here, let me show you how deadly a true buck sweep can be in this type of offense. How truly deadly sweeps can be in this offense, and especially versus a team that's got 5 people dedicated to the line of scrimmage, what it does. Because if you have all of these people being dedicated to running outside, it's going to be really, really difficult for anybody to stop it. So imagine right now you running this guy for the free safety. You're running that guy for the free safety. We're here. We're working here. We're working here. He's pulling around. He's going. We're working here. Why are we not working to these guys? Anybody know why we wouldn't be working to these guys? It's real simple. Because they're never going to catch that guy on a sweep. They're never going to catch that guy on a sweep. So we're here, backside guards pulling. If he has to, he can pull up through here. If not, he keeps it out there. He's ripping through. He's blocking on. Quarterback's actually going to turn and hand back to this guy coming this way. So that's that guy's that way. Excuse me, this backer is actually going to run for this cornerback that we left here. So that back is going to come and take the corner. You've got all of those blockers out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 6 blockers for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the Mike's going to come and try to chase it down. But the Mike can't come through here and make that play. He's got to come this way, which means he's going to run into one of these blockers that are coming. And they know when they turn, they're looking inside because there's nothing else. There's just a destroyed cornerback out here. So that buck sweep, like a true legit buck sweep, everybody coming, could be really, really dangerous if employed in the right time, the right hands, if you have guys who are going to get out there and really block somebody. So millions of things that you can do out of this formation. Again, I appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure that you make sure that you like the video, because liking the video is almost more important than you subscribing to the channel. But if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because I'd love for you to follow what I do. Everything that I do is for the coach. Everything that we do is to try to help coaches be better at their craft. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, support who we support. If you're looking for apparel for your team, shirts, shorts, camp kits, think about working with Say Less Sports Tees. They're brand new, but they're cutting edge, and they're getting out some really great prices to teams at a time where everything seems like it just becomes more and more. So please support who we support the channel, like the video, subscribe. For X and O's to Joe's, I'm Coach Gene Clemens, and we'll talk to you another time.